grapefruit dissection here. So we have our subjects, right? So just like with massage, we kind of want to assess what's going on with them. So we're going to have a one that we're not going to do anything with. That's our base, and then one we're going to massage here, okay? So first thing we want to check out, hot, cold, wet, dry. What are we noticing? Very cold, right? So they've been in the fridge, right? So that's something we want to take note of. Also, we want to take note, are there any scars or blemishes that we notice? You know, Ashley, you have a bunch on there. Yeah. So is that a superficial scar? Is it a surgical scar? Is there mold on it that we need to be concerned about and refer out? Right? So all things that we just need to start noticing on our people. All right. So we'll take this one. This is what we're going to massage. We'll start here. We don't want to use our thumbs. We don't want to be pokey with it, just like we do our massage. We're just gonna roll this guy around a little bit, okay? Keep your body mechanics, roll that around. Then we'll pass that one around. And see what we start to notice. Are we noticing any temperature changes yet? Tiny bit. Is there also a firmness change?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't want to break it. Wouldn't really have that problem with people.
Right. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit more on this. Oh yeah, big difference already. So that's getting those layers slipping and sliding, getting things warmed up. With us, in between those fascia layers, we have a fluid. So it consists of water, hyaluronic acid, and like a sugary substance. And these layers have like a fuzziness to them. So we're trying to get that fuzz to kind of melt away and get that liquid slipping and sliding so these layers can glide across each other. All right, so we'll come back to this at the end here. So we'll go back to our original subject. Every surgeon needs a good scalpel. Luke hooked us up with these little citrus peelers, okay? So we'll start, if I make, just like our planes of movement, our surgical incisions are the same, right? So if I make a cut from front to back, that would be our sagittal dissection, all right? Front to back. All right, if I make a cut from side to side, that is our frontal plane. Or they also call it a coronal. Is that right, Luke?
I think so.
Just like the sutures in our skull. We have a sagittal suture and a frontal coronal suture. Okay, so we have those 4 cuts, and we can start to peel that top layer off.
Whoops.
All right. Once we get that first piece off, we can take a look at it. We can see there's different color variations here. So this would be our epidermis and our dermis. And then under here, that sponginess, that's going to be our adipose layer. And that's going to be our superficial fascia. It's all woven in there. Okay. You'll notice that bottom layer is super spongy.
I always do a little bit of like strands, like pull it off like the wool strands, and how I just how it's distinct the layers are separate, but how
Yeah.
Until you're doing this, you don't realize just like how many ways it's all fuzzily, instead of that fuzz all connected together in there.
And it has those, like you said, those little anchor points. All right, so I've got my layers off. And I'm gonna come back to this shape here, right? So right here is where our grapefruit was attached to the tree. And you'll notice all those thick strings attached to it, right? We wanna think of those as our tendons, right? That's how it anchors to the bone. So I'm gonna pull that guy off. And when you pull that off, you'll get this, usually, channel in between all the segments. Okay, so we have our channel. That's where our bone would go through, right? And again, all those little tendons would attach and would create our movement. So, yes.
You're really fast at peeling.
Oh no. All right, so still, this is part of that superficial fascia, right? It was just so glued down to this layer. We want to try and peel as much of that off as we can. And again, you'll see that little fuzziness, those anchor points as we're pulling. And then you'll see that texture of all those nerves, little capillaries probably within that tissue. All right. So once we get as much off as we can consider this now the deep fascia, right? This fascia that wraps around all these segments and would essentially anchor down to the bone. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see how well this grapefruit does for me. We're gonna see, we'll consider these the muscles of the upper thigh, right? So if I start to pull these segments apart, I'm gonna try and do it gently. I have layers sticking together. So 1, 2, 3, 4 quadricep muscles. All right, you see how those, as you pull, those layers really stick together. And then we'd have 3 hamstrings. Close enough. But each of these groups individually wrapped in that fascia, right? As we see here, it's thinner, but it's all innervated still with those nerves, with the capillaries, trying to feed that tissue. Sometimes, do I have a good one? I don't have a good one. We'll get seeds, right? We can consider these kind of like the bones. Even the bones are wrapped in this fascia, right? So that's why they're super slippery. All right.
I had a fascial rupture on mine.
Yes.
But the seed down in there, and it was proliferating out, so. But jumping ahead by having the deep fascia.
That's good. All right. So I'm going to take each individual segment and try and peel that top fascia off. So this is around each individual muscle, it would be. And as I pull that off, we get to the little pulp here. And as we can see, trying these little strands on the pulp stick to that fascia. and anchor and create that fascia as well. All right? Little stringies. And I'm sure if I took one of these individual little pulps and put it under a microscope, there would still continue to be a little fascial web within there. All right. Once you get a segment, you can peel it off, and as I'm peeling it off and lifting, you can see those threads, the anchors. And here I have, as I've pulled this off as best as I could, I have 2 layers of that fascia stuck together, right? So that could be considered like our IT band, or the thicker lumbar dorsal fascia, right? Where things start to come together and stick together in multi-layers, becomes those thick duct tape-like tarps. So each time you pull, you just want to observe those strings and how they're attached.
It's almost a new one for me of reflecting on. Like you pull all this away, it kind of comes off pretty cleanly, right? And then sure enough, I get to this part where it kind of dives down into the outer edge. And that's a lot tougher right there. Like it's really in there, right? So kind of like different degrees of how much integration.
Actually, yours had scars on the top. Did those go into the tissue?
No.
Yeah, so very superficial, didn't affect. If you have a surgical scar, that will change the tissue and that fascia. So that's something to consider on people. Here, because we're surgically getting into this grapefruit, we can notice the hydration level too. So these seem to be pretty good. Got a lot of hydration. Have you ever had an orange that was dry and kind of flavorless? Yeah, so it's important to stay hydrated in order to keep that tissue hydrated. So I have this double layer here too. So I kind of want to play with, you guys played with your,
Oh, it's grapefruit.
you played with your paper towels. So you can play with that ease and bind. See where you feel it. See how much even this grapefruit has for the stretch in that tissue. It's a decent amount before it rips. Got these 2 layers. I'm gonna see how they slip and slide across each other. If they're dry, they don't want to go. If some of that juice gets on there, they can easily glide across each other. You get these bigger veins in here, dive down into the smaller. Here I have some of that residual core, the strings anchoring down on each of those segments. Right? And this fascia, even on this grapefruit, is really how it maintains its form. Again, I've got this layer. It was right next to this one. It's stuck at first. The more I keep moving it, the slicker it gets to glide. Yeah, you see here, like Luke was saying, right in that middle part, it's a big anchor point for all of that. That could be the IT band. Here we have our subjects again as you guys continue to work on those. So I'll just pass these around. You can see our one that didn't get a massage and the one that did. What do you notice?
This one's a lot looser.
A lot looser,
Warmer.
warmer.
Squishy.
Squishy. So that's our non-massaged and our massaged. It's a big difference.
Yeah, you don't even have to say which one got the massage and which one didn't, because it's just obvious.
Cool. All right, so with that, I'm going to make a horizontal cut on these. So that would be a
Sad.
transverse. That's okay, we'll keep working on it. So that one. And then our massage grapefruit. I also brought my snack today, which is a sumo citrus. So different genetics than our grapefruit, just like we all have different genetics. And I'll pass this one around as well, because you can see as you squish that one, it was pretty hard, didn't want to move. And this, I want you to try and focus on that superficial fascia, see what you notice.
It's already more loose.
It's already looser. Almost to the point that you can pinch it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
All right. So
But
we
it's
all.
still harder, like, right at the core.
Yep. Yeah. So, right as we. Luke, I don't know if you want to feel this. I brought in my snack.
You
So
know,
a
I was
different
very
genetic.
excited. When I saw that, I was very excited.
Yeah. So
All
Luke's
these
got
textural-
looser skin.
Yep,
I'm
yep.
a little more stiff.
Yep. But I mean, you can easily pinch
Yep.
a little bit closer to exactly that kind of principle. And a lot of people, whether it be from weight loss or age, because as we age, the collagen fibers that kind of bind everything together, they do get looser. And that's why there's a sag, as mom would call it. But just a textural sense, right? You don't want to take that for granted, although it's something kind of literally so surface. That's a very good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was sad some of the grapefruits weren't more beat up.
Oh, that's.
That gives us at least the
I bought
variety
one
of
bag. It
form.
had a moldy one. I was
Right.
like, ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So this is our massaged one, and then this is our base. Yeah, control. All right. So, kind of pull it. I can easily. You can see those segments start to pull apart, right? Got more space in between here, especially closer down to those anchor points. Versus this control one, this is the control one. They still want to stick together. There's no separation. The more I do it though, you can see how it starts to want, and that's also massage, right? I'm pulling, trying to get those layers separated. This one, much easier. The pulp is actually much softer. So, very cool. So, just like our little pulp, we have individual muscle fibers, right? It's just a single fiber wrapped in that fascia. Those ends continue on, just like you saw those strings that connected it to the rest of the fascia. So you get a bunch of muscle fibers connected together. And those all are wrapped in their fascia. This would be considered what they call a fascicle, right? So a fascicle within the muscle. All those ends continue on. This is like a cross section of it, so you can see. If we get a bunch of fascicles together, which are each individually wrapped again, around, each one individually wrapped, and around, creating these little compartments, and around, and they continue on. And all of that wrapped together and continues on to these sections that are like duct tape. That's your individual muscle, which creates the tendon. So all these little strings add up to become our tendons.